Hey, this is Emily at Oz Inflatable Kayaks, having a look at the setup of the AdvancedFrame Ultralite from Advanced Elements. So first thing you want to do is unfold the kayak. So that's how it comes folded up in the bag. You just unfold it lengthways and then unfold it crossways as well, because we want to be able to install the floor, which is the next step. This is a really lightweight, high density foam. Everything with this kayak is lightweight. The whole kayak is only 8 kilograms. Quite frankly, it's amazing. Now, this floor doesn't need to be imperfect. You just want to shove it in now because there will be the opportunity to adjust it in the next step. Awesomely, Advanced Elements don't need you to remember anything. They tell you how to work the spring valves. Basically, up is inflate, down is deflate. They give you the entire instruction manual. This is all attached to the kayak, guys. They give you a video on how to set it up, and they give you a place where you can post some awesome pictures. So the next step is to inflate the main chamber. You just use your finger and you twist, and then that little valve pops up, and that means it's on inflate. So inflate means air does not come out of the chamber while you're inflating it. I've used the push-on valve here. Sometimes you can, you might want to use the screw-on valve. And then this is the Bravo 20. So I sell a whole range of awesome Bravo pumps. Once you go electric, you never go back. Now at this point, we're only partially inflating the chamber. So I've sped this up a bit because it's a bit dull to watch. Just inflating the kayak basically. And then you partially inflate the other side. Same thing with the valve. Now you notice I haven't put the valve cap on or anything at this stage because all we're doing is partially inflating the chamber. It allows us to adjust the floor and it allows us to put in the deck lift, which is the next step. That's me adjusting the floor a little bit. Okay, so these deck lifts are basically a super lightweight way to get the deck up so that water drains, any water that drops on the deck drains off the deck and doesn't sit there and pool. So there's a little pole that gets it lifted, and then there's a deck riser. And the deck riser just slots into some pouches in the kayak. And that's why you don't want it inflated. I've actually got it too inflated there. You want it a bit less inflated. It makes it a bit easier. Next thing you do is just adjust that floor so that it's basically balanced. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want it really skewed to one side or the other. You want it nicely centered in the kayak, and that'll give you a nice streamlined ride when you're paddling. These are just bow and stern separators. They're little bits of plastic that just spread that bow and stern so that they're nice and open, so you have a really good shape in the kayak. They're pretty easy, you just slide them in. And then you go back and inflate those main chambers. So they're 2.0 psi, which feels kind of firm, but it's certainly not high pressure. And it gets there, as you can see, it gets there quite quickly. Okay, it doesn't take a lot. You don't want to overinflate, so make sure you keep your eye on that pressure gauge. This is when you can screw in the valve caps. Okay, if you know you've got the pressure up there, the valve caps are really a safety precaution. Those spring valves are excellent at keeping the air in, but it's great to have a precaution. You inflate the foot brace. You can actually do this with your mouth. I was just feeling a bit lazy and had the pump right there. It's certainly not a high pressure piece of equipment. It's just 1 psi, and this is a twist valve, so you can see me turning it to secure the valve there, and then you just shove it in. In terms of getting it to the right position, you would do that with the seat, so you can actually adjust the straps on the seat to move the seat forward or backward rather than moving the brace, which just sits in the front. So this is a seat. You can see it's got a high density foam base, so you get a bit of lift, which is nice. A lot of people don't like to sit with their legs out straight in front of them, so that lift gives you a bit of a seat to sit on. You can see that it's quite a high back seat as well. Clips nicely into the kayak there, and you can, as I said, just loosen the straps to move the seat forwards or tighten the straps to move it back. And you want it at a bit of an angle like I've got there. See how it's facing forwards. So you can pop your gear in. The repair kit is in the pouch behind the seat. I prefer to put some water in there, and then I put the repair kit back in. Attach your paddle. There's some awesome little Velcro paddle leashes. You don't have to do this, but I find it much easier to carry it down as one piece down to the water, and that way I'm not at risk of losing my paddle when I try to get in. And that's it. The AdvancedFrame Ultralite, super quick and easy to set up. This is a wonderful lightweight kayak from Advanced Elements. If you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to get in touch. This is Emily at Oz Inflatable Kayaks.